everybody, welcome back to another live stream. It is Friday. I hope you guys are doing good. This week has been great. It has been 5 days of short squeezes and this market is properly wound up. Now, pre-market action here is seeing a little bit of a dump, but we're going to get into the technicals in just a second here. Let's talk about a little bit about the macro situation. That's how we always do these live streams. As you guys know, we cover the macro first and then we get into the technicals, and that's that. Today is a 0-day expiry day for us on the Discord, so we'll be trading mainly options that expire today, of course, very, very carefully with little risk as possible. So if you're interested in looking at our Discord or what we offer, please have a look at the link in the description of this video, and we will see you on the trading floor. So let's talk about SPX here. We have been calling this thing on the nail for the past 2 weeks, right? It's been 2 weeks of constant on the nail like predictions, and you know, obviously we're not going to get it right all the time. There's no way that we'll get it right all the time, but we've been getting it right more than often here, and we called, you know, the rally way before it happened because of the short squeezes that were going on, and it's been many days now that the short squeezes have continued. So just yesterday we saw almost I want to say, how much was it? Let me see, $21 billion of short squeezes being squeezed, and you know, we're gonna continue to see if this will continue to the upside, but it looks like we are approaching a major resistance here on SPX, hence the name of this video. SPX is approaching resistance. What was the resistance? We have been talking about this for about 2 weeks, right? So what was our initial view? Our initial view when we were trading down here, couple of let's say about 2 weeks ago, we were trading down here. We were talking about the breakout and then the retest, and then we broke out, we retested 39.16, and then perfect bounce on 39.90, which was the next bounce, right? And then I said after that 40.60 was the next level. We didn't really bounce at 40.60, so that was kind of half bounce. We got it more at 40.80 instead. And then now it was 41.40, which we kind of bounced on yesterday, but then we broke through this level pre-market today. So we might see you know, a possible bounce only further down below at maybe 4100 or so. Ultimately, we want to break 4200, but 4200 is a very strong level, so we don't know if we're actually going to get through this level. And you know, for all you know, this becomes the local high over here for the medium term, and then we reverse course back down for some lower highs, pretty much like somewhere here, right? So then we'll have high, and then, you know, another high, kind of like that, right? And then that would see us kind of move into this bull market eventually. So we'll be looking out for that. If, you know, if we really truly indeed have that high, then, you know, we're looking for somewhere really further down here, not really that high. You know, SPX might come all the way down, like even to 38.74 before we see a bounce, and then move up again in this ascending kind of pattern. Of course, we're not going to predict anything. This is just for your entertainment, okay? This is just for your imaginative entertainment. My trend line is not going to be right, and I'm just doing that purely for entertainment. There is no way that I can predict that that's the price levels that we're going to bounce at. But what I do like for us to do right now is to come down and get some more demand. In other words, we need some good old-fashioned liquidity engineering, which means we need SPX to come down and to put some pressure on bulls, right? Because that's going to allow us to free up some of this liquidity that's trapped over here, and then reverse course to the upside to continue the secular bull trend, okay? Now, of course, as I said, breaking out of 4200 is going to be whoa. If we break out of 4200, that's going to be some interesting stuff. But the real level that is going to actually set off long gamma, which will be short gamma squeeze, is going to be 4235. I've put a level up here. You can see that's the reason why I put this yellow line here. I'm looking at the dealer activity, obviously. So remember that in trading there's a technical side, and then there's the dealer side as well, which you have to take note of. Now, obviously, this is not something like you're always gonna know as a beginner trader. This takes a long time. You start to accustom yourself towards what is going on in the background, the structure of the market. you're dealing with a lot of market makers and brokers, and they all have exposure. Remember that when you take a long trade, they have to take a short trade against you to balance out their exposure. Okay, so as we head further and further higher here, as these shorts start to unwind, there's not going to be much on the table for brokers to actually take, right? So if the liquidity starts to run dry, they have to short and they have to take counter positions against the market and then set up a squeeze to the opposing direction in order to free up the liquidity that is on here. The best way for me to explain this is like this, and this is how I explain it in the courses usually, right? Imagine you're on a little Cybertruck, and let me see. I swear I have the best Cybertruck drawings in the world. Okay, so this is my Cybertruck. Okay, and you're driving on this Cybertruck up here. Yeah, look at my cool Cybertruck and you driving in that Cybertruck. You're driving up on this hill, right? Well, if there's just you, that's going to be pretty easy for this Cybertruck to move up, right? But if everybody and their mother and father and barber and hairstylers are jumping on this Cybertruck to move up on this hill, this truck is going to get really heavy. And when this truck is really heavy, it's going to be really tough for this Cybertruck to move higher and higher on this hill. So it's going to have to make a pit stop, drop some people off, and then continue higher. Does that make sense? I hope I answered or I explained it in a way that's easy for you to understand. Okay, but that's kind of what the idea is over here. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to explain in terms of the market maker exposure and whatnot. So liquidity is dry. We need to come back down. We need to grab some more liquidity and then move higher. Okay. So that's the macro explanation. Now, obviously, there's a lot of talk on the table about the Fed rate hikes. Okay. Institutions are talking about it. The news is talking about it. Well, I don't think mainstream traders are talking about it yet, but it's going to be on the radar very soon. Institutions are already talking about it very, very heavily. And I did cover the expectations in Monday's live stream and Wednesday's live stream. So I'm not going to waste more time talking about it. If you want to know what the expectations for FOMC and rate hikes moving forward is, and really the position of the Fed or the analysis of the Fed's positioning for the next couple of months, then please watch Wednesday's live stream. I go through it pretty intensely and in detail for your own viewing. Okay, cool. So macro is kind of pointing towards more of a dovish scenario with the Fed, and then on top of that, remember what I spoke about? I spoke about the bond market with yields kind of yields kind of heading lower, and then today yields are heading higher. So kind of we'll see. Obviously, remember bond market comes down. And usually it has been such that bond market and stock market are performing inverse of one another. But then lately, ever since this drop happened, bond market and stock market correlation has been pretty high. So today we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off on bonds. And I'm tracking 20-year plus fat tail of the bond market. I don't like tracking the short duration ones because I want to look at what the sensitivity of the long tail bond market does. That's more important to me. That's where rates are more sensitive. Okay. Okie dokie. So let's look at technicals. Now, technicals are pretty straightforward, right? Remember on Wednesday's live stream, I said pretty straightforwardly, right? Break of 41.40 sends us to 42. And then break of 40.60 sends us down back to 39.90, right? We got the break of 41.40, but then we didn't get up to 4,200. Yesterday was a kind of a weird trading session, and it was kind of low volume trading the entire day. And yeah, it just didn't really see much take off actually. And that's the reason why I didn't really trade that much. Now, if you're interested to know where I'm at for the week in terms of trades, currently at $11,500 in profits for this week, okay? These were all the trades that we took this week, as well as, I keep a detailed log of how I feel, what the setup was, and also my risk to reward ratios, everything in these trades. So we'll see how many more we can close today to close out the week. I'm not really pinning a lot of hopes on today's trading session because the pre-market volume is looking a bit dismal, although we have some bearish inflow here. We'll see what happens. Okay, we'll see what happens. Okay, give me 1 second here. So, Technicals wise, I think as long as we hold 4080, we should be okay today, right? 4080 is a local low over here on the SPX, if we look at it. And then if we can hold 4080, then we should see possibly retest of 4200 because we haven't got to 4200 yet. And then the breakout of 4200, we talk about that when we get there. Probably happening in, you know, if we don't get that spectacular pullback all the way from here, right? So we'll talk about 4200 when we get to 4200. I don't want to overly speculate about 4200, but as I said, 42 to 4234, super hard to break through because of the way that dealer positioning is, and then also exposure of the gamma exposure, okay? So this is all just territory that's a bit tough to break through. But we'll see if we can pivot between these 2 points, 4140, 4060. These are the 2 pivot points right now that we have to watch like hawks. Then at the same time, we have Nasdaq, which is the leading index, which I mentioned on last live stream, which was on Wednesday. And Nasdaq still hasn't gone up to go retest the 13,550. 13,550 is the key apex here for us to see some resistance. But we're seeing some pullbacks here. So I don't want to get trapped by any bear trap over here. That could be a big little sell-off pre-market, and then you see maybe mid-session, we see a huge buy up and then a rush up to 13,550. So you have to be really careful with your price action today because, you know, we could get some fake outs and then some further rug pulls that's going to cause a lot of confusion, okay? And then the Dow here also is doing a similar move, but you know, we'll see if we get up to 33,240. That's the main thing there. Okay, so from a macro/technical perspective, you can see what I'm getting at here. It's getting awfully confusing as we head higher, and you have to be increasingly more careful, especially a trading day like today. You have to be extra careful, just because of the way that everything's positioned, the way that the macro environment is positioned, the way the bond market is positioned. Take extra caution, okay? Especially stocks like Tesla, right? Tesla has been super bullish, and I can see everyone just continue to jump on the bandwagon here to go bullish. But you can see that the days of high volatility and high momentum, are getting over, right? Look at how big momentum was here, and then on the pullbacks even, and then the run up, and then the pullbacks here. But then look at this last rally over the last 2 days, right? Very, very, very dismal momentum. Not only that, Tesla is actually in the ascending wedge pattern here on the 15-minute, right? So this is looking like, you know, it's losing steam, right? It's looking like it's losing steam. This price action is telling that it's losing steam. Okay, that's what you have to keep in mind. So I just want to go through a couple tickers. Do you guys have any tickers? If you do, please leave it in the comments here so that I can go through them. Now, we also hit the nail on the head with semiconductors, which is the sector that we were looking at for this week. Obviously, we played semiconductors this week, made some really decent money on them. NVDA, we played SMH, we played, let's see. Yeah, NVIDIA and SMH were the main that we played. So semiconductors was a good sector this week to play on this run-up. And that's one of the key things that we were watching at the start of the week. I don't know if you guys have subscribed to our newsletter, but you guys should definitely consider. I already spoke largely about semiconductors for the past 2 weeks. And we've been talking about the rebound for a little while now. So I think it's about time here where we're approaching a big resistance for semis at this key level here for a pullback. We already hit the 23.6 extension. If anything, if semis really push up to 248 or 249, then we'll see likely a pullback in this region after it kind of gets up there. Okay. So what else? Meta is the other one that I'm watching, but then it kind of got sold off here pre-market. So we'll see we can really find any upward momentum here intraday this session. I don't think that we're really going to see much intraday momentum though. Today might just end up being one of those choppy days where people make outright bullish bets or bearish bets and then get trapped in the middle. And I've been talking about this for a while where the market needs to digest the move. The market is digesting the move. So this is all happening pre-market, and it's quite sad that we're not able to get into the price action here. So yeah, some opportunities that we'll be watching, and then I'm watching these into next week too. Meta is one of them. Very clear channel here, breakout on either side. That's what we're watching. I'll go through this on Monday again when I see the move happen. Then we have Home Depot also pivoting into a localized high resistance point that has been here happening for multiple times now. Earnings coming up on 16th August could be a kind of a catalyst event for the run up into next week. I'll be looking to trade this possibly next week into the bullish territory if we can get a break and then a bounce above 310 here. Also looking at Upstart for this double top, possibly a sell-off down back into the $24 before a bounce, and then we play it back up. By the way, thank you guys for attending a live stream. I really truly appreciate you guys being here. It's all about consistency and just putting in a little bit of effort into attending these streams. There's a ton of value that I provide. I don't know if you guys see the value, but if you do see the value, I would love if you actually told me that you do see the value, so that it kind of motivates me to do better and keep doing these streams. And let me see some of these comments. Good morning. What's up, man? Good morning. Haha. Had so many tickers 1 year back. Was clueless then. Your course has changed it. Got none now. Thank you. Pankit, man. What's up? How are you doing? I hope you're doing good, man. I remember your name. You used to attend the live streams pretty often, so thank you for being here. Also, guys, please, if you can, drop a like. I truly appreciate you dropping a like on the stream. It really helps me to get the views up on the videos, and that's just one of the ways that YouTube's gonna share the video. If not, YouTube's not gonna share the video. So I truly appreciate you liking this stream or pressing the like button, the thumbs up button, and that truly means a lot to me. Big value, definitely helpful with your view. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm really happy. Okay, other things I'm watching. Disney here. Disney is a continued opportunity here if we can continue to be bullish. But I think maybe a 104 bounce is in order. 105 maybe. Maybe higher than a little higher than where it is currently. Looking for a 105, 106 bounce possibly. This thing needs to revert to the mean. It's been sold off for such a long time, and then now it's starting to see if we can make higher highs here. I want it to kind of get up to 118. So there's a lot of upside on Disney if it goes the right way. And, we'll see if it actually gets there. Once again, I'm reviewing all the tickers that I will possibly go back after today's trading session, and then we'll review them on Monday before the market, because there's just a lot of things that I'm looking at. And I think that, once we see where everything is at on Monday, we'll be having a better, clearer picture on where the sector rotation is going to be for next week. So this week we had energy rotated out, right? That big sell-off. This was largely related to OPEC news. OPEC Plus reported that they're going to be hiking output dismally, like really small hike. So we'll talk about OPEC and OPEC Plus on Monday. That's going to be the theme of next week, I believe. But I might change my mind and decide to cover something else entirely. But if you guys have been attending this stream for the past 2 weeks now, which is how long we've been going live, you would realize that every week there's a theme. This week was semiconductors, right? And last week was tech. The first week that we started live streaming, it was technology. I was concentrating all on technology, and that's why we put it on newsletter too. The newsletter has a forward-facing view on what the theme is for the week and what we're concentrating on. Like this past week was semiconductors, and we spoke about it very obviously and very specifically in our newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, by the way, go to our IG page, click the link in the bio, and then it'll lead you directly to our newsletter landing page where you can sign up. And it's highly important for you to get that in your mailbox. Every Sunday is delivered to you. It's basically my view on the market, right? Gives you a good snapshot. Amazon is another one, but I think it's going to start rejecting here. Apple also looks like a big rejection level, so we'll see if we can get some downside movement, corrective moves here. And then Enphase Energy as well. For a possible blowout here to the upside, but I'm not gonna play this one. It's already overblown here. So that's all I have for you guys in terms of technicals. If anybody has any tickers for me to break down, then please go ahead, drop it in the comments right now. I'll do it for you. And also watch out for Walmart ahead of earnings. I feel like this sell-off right here is a great opportunity to pick up some decent earnings plays because we're about 2 weeks away from earnings. So maybe next week might be the week to play Walmart. This one's going to move into the front of my queue to keep an eye on because Walmart's price action has been manipulated quite heavily in the past 1 to 2 weeks. You can see the huge buy up and then a huge dump. So yeah, I'll be watching Walmart closely. Okie dokie. Well, I see no ticker requests. Remember, if you have a ticker request, drop it in the comments. I will go through them on Monday if required. Okay. You can always, if you think like, oh hey, you know, I really wish T would break down this stock for me. Put it in the comments of the videos, and then on Monday when I come into Monday's live stream, I'll put it up. I'll pull it up from the previous live stream and then break it down for you. Okay. So all you have to do is comment with the ticker. But other than that, I don't have anything else for you guys today. I hope you have a great weekend, and good luck on your trading session. And those of you on Discord, I'll see you on the trading floor shortly. So take care and peace, guys.